A FAM production. Furniture and Mattress. FAM.news.
I feel good. F-I-L-L. The founder and inventor of Fill Station Pillow Kiosk, Arthur Watkins, is on the show today with the story behind his business and how experiences can build your business. The Dos Marcos Show begins in 60 seconds.
Driven entrepreneurs, listen up. It's time to team up with Nationwide Marketing Group, North America's most successful network of independent retailers. You'll gain access to programs and services that level the playing field between you and the national chains. Industry-leading digital marketing, increased buying power, exclusive networking events, and of course, their awesome learning platform. Nationwide Marketing Group is the business partner that helps you get results and stay ahead of the competition. Take the first step today and visit nationwidegroup.org.
Do you want more sales in 3 easy clicks? Yeah, it starts right now at doorcounts.com. With a completely redesigned user interface, gathering data has never been easier. Click number 1, your salespeople connect with the customer as they walk through the door. Click 2 is the outcome. Click 3, key performance metrics, right there on your phone from anywhere at any time. Now your salespeople can spend their time selling, and DoorCounts is going to gather the data you need to make your business better. Start right now at doorcounts.com.
Welcome to the Dos Marcos Show with Mark Kinsley and Mark Quinn, where mattress and furniture leaders gather to grow, get the inside scoop, tell stories, and take tequila shots.
Uno, dos, tequila!
The galaxy's greatest mattress podcast has liftoff in
3, engine start, 2, 1. Launch enable 7, 8.
Welcome to the Dos Marcos Show. I'm Mark Kinsley. He's Mark Quinn. This has actually happened to my friend Leslie. She's a great storyteller. So she came over to let my dog out. His name's Jones. He's got a lot of attitude, and he's a pogo stick. So he goes out in the yard, and she's trying to get him to come back inside. And it was a little bit sunny out, but it was kind of cold, so he found a patch of sun over in the corner of the yard. And she's like, come here, Jones. Come here, Jones. And Leslie's amazing. She's really fun and artsy, and she has blue hair. So you got to imagine little Leslie with her blue hair. She dyed it recently, and so she's had different colors of hair. She's really cool. So Jones, my dog, goes and finds this patch of sun, and he will not come to her. And she's trying to go and get back to what she's doing in her day. And so finally she's like, Jones, come here, Jones, come here. He just rolls over on his back in the patch of sun. And so she's like, okay. So she walks through the yard. She goes over. She pets his tummy. And he looks up at her as she's standing there about to pick him up. And he looks down at her feet. And then he takes off running toward the house. And she was standing in 2 giant piles of poop.
Poor lady.
I know. So poor Leslie, I thank you many times over for putting up with little Jones. And hey, if you have one of those puppies that you got during all the craziness, you probably can relate on some level. Or maybe you made a smart decision, you didn't get a puppy.
I've got a quick dog story. We have a neighbor down the street has a mixed German Shepherd. So I've got 2 Australian Shepherds. And this dog busts through the electric. So he's got an electric collar, and it's kind of a new dog. But he's just a renegade, and he wants to come to our house. So he goes through the electric shock thing, and it hits him for like 10 seconds. And he's like, screw it. I don't care. I'm going to the Quinn house because there's 2 dogs to play with. So he takes the pain for 10 seconds, and he ends up at my house. So he comes here almost every day. So I'm always texting the owners. I'm like, hey, we got her. It's cool. Don't worry about it. They're playing. It's fine. Well, anyway, one day, Bridget takes Lady back to her home, which is about a block away. And then she walks back to the house, and Lady comes running out of our bedroom. Bridget's like, I just brought her home. Well, that dog had cut through a field behind our house, came in the back door because we kind of leave it open for the dogs to come in, and was back at our house again. And Bridget thought she was in the Twilight Zone. She's like, I just took care of this dog. But we are not as smart as Arthur because Arthur doesn't actually have a dog.
Well, that dog actually knew where there was a comfortable mattress, and he probably found her because it's Mark Quinn's bedroom. He's going to have a comfortable mattress, and to go with that, you have to have a comfortable pillow. But there's more to having a comfortable pillow than we even as an industry know. And Arthur Watkins, the founder and inventor of the fill station kiosk is going to help us understand that even more. And Arthur, I love what you do on LinkedIn. You can see your heart for this business. And we're so thankful to have you here today to talk about fill station and just to get to know you a little bit better. So for the people that don't know you, tell us about yourself.
Well, I live here in Tennessee. Of course, married for 26 years. I have a son who's graduating from college, community college. He has autism. I'm just actually surprised that I'm able to get him through college and everything. He's learned better over the internet, through internet than in school. So his grades went from, C's and B's to A's, just unbelievable. So basically I started a fill station out of a store, thinking how I can actually create an experience for customers. We created it based on 5 different fills: feathers, latex, memory foam, polyfoam, buckwheat hulls, and then we just added alternative down. We've been having alternative down for a while. I just never put it on our website, and we just did that. So the whole point of the program is to help licensees or retailers to create events for their customers to come in to build pillows and fit them at the same time with the pillow on the mattress. So if it gives them an opportunity to have a story to talk about, to sell them potentially a mattress while they're doing the fitting. So we kind of reverse the order, how to approach a customer on pillows. Before you think about our history, how accessories is always sold. Accessories is always sold when the customer walk in the door, they sell a mattress, and then they sell them a pillow. We reverse that by customers building traffic off pillow building events. So they come and build the pillow, and then you wrap yourself into the story of the mattress. So that is really the case of why the fill station was created, and plus our refluffing adjustment guarantee to keep them coming back, so you can continue to sell them through the process.
Well, tell us about that. I mean, since you mentioned it, what is the refluffing and adjustment guarantee? What does that look like? How does that work?
Well, the way it works is that once you sell them a protector, they can bring their pillow back. All our pillows have zippers on them. So it's easy to access, dump out the fill, you sanitize the material, and then you send it back through the machine. And then the pillows, what happens, it aerates the fill. So the placement of your fills either make it flat over time. So when you send it back through the machine again, it actually replaces all the fill and make it fluffier again, like they originally purchased it. So that's what the process is about.
I'm loving this because even right now, I'm thinking to myself, I have a pillow that I really loved for about 9 months, and it's gone too flat. So I don't sleep on a very high profile pillow. I don't know if it's my shoulders or the fact that I kind of do the rotisserie sleep routine. You know what I mean? I'm rolling and rolling, but I'm kind of side to back sleeper. And so I have this nice kind of semi-firm, but it's a flatter profile pillow, but now it's getting too flat. And I'm like, well, how do I get this again? What I had is what I want. And then the names change and all this, the SKUs change, and the naming convention is confusing online sometimes. So I would go right now to a fill station personally and go and get my pillow back to its original form. That sings to my soul right now.
That's correct.
Tell us, okay,
and
Arthur, I'm really curious because, go ahead, sorry.
So it also may think that as your body changed physically, you may need a little bit extra fill, or you may need something taken out during the refluff and adjustment process.
Yeah, Mark Quinn goes, after the new year, puts on 10, 15 pounds of muscle just to hulk out for beach season, and he's going to need a different profile of pillow. I've seen it happen.
If by muscle you mean middle section muscle, then absolutely 100%. I love that we have Arthur on here, Kinsley, because I'm so passionate about this subject, because and my brain is like in 10 different directions. So I'm going to try and focus here. But Arthur, first of all, I think from a consumer perspective, like we try to look at everything and put them in the middle of this discussion, right? Like with most things, there's a big education piece to what you do. So there's two parts of that. Number one, it's, hey, a pillow's a big deal. it's the bed for the head. And if you aren't fitting a consumer for a mattress with the pillow at the same time, you're really missing it, because those two work so closely together. And I know that's a big part of what you do. But then the other one is the education is, hey man, like, you should be replacing your pillow. It's disgusting. If you think about drooling into your pillow all of these times, every night that you sleep, that's disgusting. And so there has to be that ew factor of, hey, look, y'all. So the education on replacement cycle. So can you tell us a little bit about like your approach to that? And when you launch a program, like what kind of training are you doing with people so that they understand just how important the education part of that is?
Well, people tend to replace their pillows every 2 to 3 years, based on all the factors you just said. But we actually, with our licensees, we take the approach that they have to have a pillow protector on their pillows, just like they have a protector on their mattress. We're trying to keep the filler inside sanitary for continuous use, because if you drool on your mattresses, on your mattress and pillows, that gets inside and all that. So we recommend for all the licensees that the customer purchase a pillow protector to keep their pillow healthy for a longer length of time. Although our refluffing adjustment guarantee is for 5 years, even if that ends, they have to replace the outer shell, and they have to replace the pillow protector.
But think about that, you guys. Every 2 to 3, think about it. Every night. Arthur, do you know any stats on how much the normal human drools or sweats even? Because I have to think, and then I just can't even, that can't be healthy, right? I mean, and people don't think about it, and I haven't thought about it until I got in the industry. But
that's right.
What should it be? You're saying every 2 to 3 years is what's real, but what should it really be if they have a protector on there?
Oh, if you have a protector on there, you can go a little bit longer. Depends on the protector, because
you're not drooling into.
Because you also want to replace your protectors as well. Yeah, because you're not drilling in the mattress, in the pillow. You're not drilling in it. You're drilling on the protector. So.
Yeah, but how many people have a protector, Kinsley? How many people actually buy a mattress or a pillow protector for their bed? Do you think? Take a guess.
Oh, it's got to be below 1%. I would think.
Our attachment rate is really high, so.
Well, and I can see that,
and
that speaks to creating an experience where you build value in everything you do. And we talk about that a lot on this show. Absent of value, people make decisions on price. And if you don't build value in what you have and what you sell, people aren't going to understand the things that Arthur and Mark were just talking about. And by the way, just as a quick sidebar, we just set a new show record for the most times the word drool has ever been mentioned on the Dos Marcos show.
Congratulations, everyone. That is quite the pinnacle. I mean, Kinsley, we're already meeting our 2022 goals on the very first show.
They're very low. The bar is very low. But Arthur, talk about that. Okay, I want to hear about, number one, you're talking about this education piece, and by creating, bringing something into your store that's this striking visual, meaning the fill station, I feel good. The fill station is there in the store. People are going to see it. It looks fun. It looks engaging. Obviously, the salesperson can bring the customer over to it. That's great. That alone, I think, is going to introduce an element that allows you to have a conversation that people don't expect to have and surprises the foundation of delight. So I think you've got something really special there. Now, what are some of the more creative uses or events or parties, or what are people doing when they have the fill station in their store that you've noticed that really stands out as a shining example of doing good with this?
Well, it's primarily traffic. We have had a lot of our licensees do various programs. It's easier to partner with chiropractors, for one. That's been the nudge in our whole industry, how you partner with chiropractors. So we created a program where they have pillow packs that the chiropractor sells to the customer in their offices, and they bring that shell in to have it filled to their preference. So that's one part of it. the other part of it is the pillow building events. We do those on a continuous basis. For example, neck and shoulders pillow building event is for people who have common neck and shoulder issues with pillows. At that time, we talked to the licensees, and licensees talk to their customers about if their mattress currently now is probably too firm for them. Maybe it's time to replace it, because when they make their purchase 2 or 3 years on a mattress, they may not realize it could be the mattress, and that pillow cell turns into a mattress cell. So that's the part of that. And then for community, a lot of our licensees to build traffic and collect data at the same time, they do free pillow building events for the heroes, for in the community, like the firefighters and things like that, and kind of build community, trust in many ways with the program. So there's many different ways you can actually use the program. Right now, we're going to be rolling out in 2022 sponsored pillow building events with other businesses where they get their logos put on the pillows for these trade-off events, like a blood drive. So they do a blood drive. They actually get a pillow for that, but also the sponsors will also be on those pillows.
Brilliant. I love that. I love the connection.
What a great branding opportunity, right?
Great branding
to go do a firefighter thing and put your company name on the pillowcase and then give this away. That's a great. I was just at a big event where they gave us, when we attended, there was a group there branding little luggage tags. So you could walk over to the station. It was like part of your being at the show. You could like get your own luggage tag made, and that would be a really cool kind of thing to do. Exactly what you're talking about, corporate events. I think that's brilliant.
Yeah, actually, the all these shells that shipped out to our licensees, they do have their logos on all of them. So that's all part of the follow through with the branding, and their website is on the pillow shells as well.
Talking to Arthur Watkins, the founder and inventor of Fill Station Pillow Kiosk, and what an amazing experience you've created that is now in roughly 30 locations in the U.S. I want to talk about your international expansion. I saw news about that. But Arthur, I got to go back in time with you. Okay, let's go back in time. What was the first prototype like of the Fill Station Pillow Kiosk?
Isn't that how you do that?
You'd be
the time
surprised.
Machine?
That's a laundry baskets. Laundry baskets. I was ordering fill from various places. I was using actually Pure Care protectors, at the beginning. So I was building with that, and then we built another prototype. It was all wood. It was janky. We actually put the motor into the ceiling of the store, so the hose could drop down so we can fill. And it was actually a lawn blower that we used to actually for the fill to go through, and it was loud as heck. So, so that's how we kind of started the process, trying to put it together and to build pillows. But it was a process. Before it became a patent, that we actually had a company that was local that actually really did the design work to how the fill station should look like.
Okay, so describe it for people, since we're on a podcast. A lot of people are listening to the podcast. Mm-hmm. And by the way, if you're listening, thank you. Please subscribe. Head over to fam.news. Subscribe there as well. You get the newsletter. But describe it to people, Arthur, for those who don't know. What does it look like today? It's not a laundry basket and a leaf blower anymore.
No, it's actually countertops. It actually have shelves in it where you can actually put your inventory. It's the functionality where your filler, it can hold up to 20 to 30 pounds per tub inside of the fill station. It has a digital scale, so you can weigh the pillow. This is how you determine how much you to charge the customer is by pound. And then we actually created a fill box where it has a door that closes, so while you fill in the pillow, that if you forget to put the shell on there, the fill doesn't blow all over your showroom. So basically, we made all of those changes, and then we also added a few other things like other internal factors to help build pillows a little bit better. So,
if you're a first-time listener to the show and you're catching this one, Mark and I wrote a book called Come Back to Bed. Go to fam.news and you can subscribe, become a member, and get access to that book in audio version for free. But anyway, in the book, we talk a lot about experience, Arthur. And so you can be a company that conducts transactions. You can be a company that creates experiences, which is way better. Or you can transfer into, or you can move into transformation, which is another discussion. But what you're doing is creating experiences for consumers. Guys, Build-A-Bear is so big for a reason, right? Because it's kids and they get to come in and they're involved and they get to participate and customize certain things. The move to customization, personalization of product in the macro trend of consumer products is obvious. It's happening everywhere. Cars, now you can order customized clothing, shoes. My kids always, go in and custom their shoes. And so, Arthur, talk a little bit about the retailers that have it now. I was with Matt Smith and Snooze out in Colorado, and they took me through their fill station experience, and I thought it was really cool because I got to be involved in that. How important is that experience? Number one, that people can actually promote that and say, hey, come get fitted for a bed, and then they get to see that. How important is it when the consumer gets in and they get to actually participate in creating their own sleep surface for their head?
It's a great experience for many reasons because you got to think about when you're going to the difference between one burger joint to another burger joint where you can just pick what you want to put on it versus them just handing you the burger. That's the difference in value because you feel like you're really involved to what you're actually building. And then when you go home at night, you know that you participated in building that particular product. So it goes a longer way when you're actually knowing that in your heart that you participated in something that you created and you spent money building. And plus, gives you an opportunity to build a longer relationship with that retailer because he's like, John built my pillow. He knows exactly how my pillow should feel. So just like chiropractor, you go and get your adjustments and everything, and that chiropractor knows exactly how you like your adjustments. So it's ongoing. It's an ongoing relationship building with your customer, so it's not transactional. So
it's one of my favorite parts about this. Quinn just mentioned it, teed it up. It's not transactional, just like you said, Arthur. It's transformational. And if you have a reason, if there's a hook that gets people back into your store, then you can continue to help them with their sleep needs. And it always doesn't have to be tied to a purchase, although many times it will be. And many times it will be, hey, it's time to refresh your mattress, time to refresh your pillow. Hey, how are your sheets? Let's look at all this. How's your sleep environment? If you're getting into the full sleep ecosystem as a retailer. But if you can find ways to create the beginning of the relationship the first time you come in, it's going to be a win. And I love that Fill Station does this. And we honestly don't come across too many examples of products or experiences that when a consumer comes in, it's the beginning of that transformational relationship that's tied to that retailer. So this is such a key example of how to do that. And I would challenge retailers out there, think about how you could use Fill Station creatively in your own environment. Pillow building parties, getting involved with charitable organizations, just like you talked about, making it experiential and fun. I mean, if you think about during the winter time, there's lots of snow. Well, you've got lots of feathers and fluff and all kinds of fun stuff being blown about. There's a theme that you could put together there. So it's just such a fun way to think about how we can make it experiential and then make it the beginning of the relationship.
I like that. Definitely. So, Arthur, to the relationship side, when people come in, relationships are emotional, right? And people have a emotional connection to their pillow. I mean, it's crazy. Like when we travel, if we can, we all pack our pillows, right? Because we want it there. There's an affection for that. And so I love that part because when you're doing the filling station experience, you get a chance to kind of talk to people about that and let them not only if they're buying, so one option is to buy a pillow, the second is to make it. And then if you have an affection for a pillow you buy off a shelf, that's one thing. But if you make the pillow, I'm guessing that it stands to reason that the connection to that item even grows because they were part of the creation of that. Is that a fair assumption to make?
Yes, that's correct. So it's one of those things that, you hold dear to your heart that you actually did something with it. It's like I cut my grass, versus having a lawman cut my grass. I'm going to have a totally different, look at that versus either or, the how it looks. I did that. So, the curbside appeal, I did that. And that's the same thing with creating a pillow.
Well, here's another thing. I want to throw this out there because it just came out. We covered it on fam.news, but Mattress Firm partnered up with Sleep Score Labs to measure the results of a pillow fitting process. And so the study measured sleep before and after the customers participated in an in-store pillow fitting process. Here's what they found. The participants slept 487 more minutes per month on average. That's just over 8 hours when they used the new fitted pillow compared to using their original pillow. So that's adding up to an extra night of sleep on average per month. So you look at this and I think to myself, great. That's just validation for doing a pillow fitting process. And if you have the wrong technology or surfaces, you're going to have the wrong night of sleep, a bad night of sleep. Now you take it to the next level and you think about what you're doing, Arthur, with Fill Station. Mm-hmm. If you have 5 different pillows you can sell in store, you got 5 different options. Maybe you're going to find somebody, one that fits that person. But now you have infinite options and you can truly fit that person to that pillow. And I want everybody to remember that stat. It was with Sleep Score Labs and an extra night of sleep per month that you're losing out on if you don't have the right pillow fitting. What's your reaction to that, Arthur, when you think about those infinite number of solutions that you can create?
Perfect. Yeah, that's perfect because when they first did the initial fitting and everything, they get that high score. But for retailers to think about, that score changes over time. It doesn't stay at that number. So that's the reason why the refluff and the adjustments will help them put them back at that number. So, because we know that people's bodies are going to continue to change and, their attitudes towards their pillows will change. Their emotional fit for that pillow changes. So you definitely want to keep them at that number, that 487 number. So.
Oh, that's I got to put an exclamation point on that. What you just pointed out right there, Arthur, is so key. Your pillow is going to change shape. It's just going to happen. That's what pillows do. Mm-hmm. It's going to lose its fluff, lose its profile, whatever you want to call it. So if you want to continue to get that extra 487 minutes of sleep per month, you're going to have to make sure that you're at a certain interval going back in and either buying a whole new pillow or using a fill station and getting back to that profile that fits your body. Otherwise, you're going to that bell curve is going to start to trail off at the end and you're going to start to lose sleep. And you can market that as a business. Yeah. You can market that as a business. And that's what's so important about creating those continued hooks in the water that bring your customers back in and you serve them.
Yeah. No doubt. So a little bit of a rant. So I was with Dr. V to insert his name. We do that frequently here. And he took me through his pillow fitting process. And one of the things we discovered, it's not my pillow, it's my pillows, right? Because I sleep with 2. I sleep with one for my head and kind of hug one at my body. And I talk to so many people who do that. So the cool thing about what you're doing is that you could have a different comfort level for your head. You may have a different length or type for the body part. And I think a lot of people do that. A lot of people sleep with it under their knees so I love that part of what you're talking about. The other thing I just want to comment and I'll leave it to you two to add to, but in the book we wrote, we also talk about, you have to decide to do something differently. So in your market, a lot of consumers go into a sleep shop or a furniture store and they're like, hey, wait, they go to write the check for what they bought. And they're like, where am I? So why in the hell if you are in the retail space, wouldn't you look for things like this to totally differentiate what you do? Because not everyone in your market has a cool, hey, come build your pillow experience. So I love that to really provide a competitive advantage for retailers out there. So Arthur, let's go a little bit deeper. So what is the biggest objection that you hear after you make a presentation? I'm guessing footprint might be one, or cost might be one. What do you hear? Like, why do people kind of hedge on bringing your program in?
Well, it is footprint. And I always tell, retailers is that you're always going to have a very dead part of your showroom that no one's interested in going into. So you may have a couple of SKUs that's just not selling as well. But, and we also go back into, it may be a license, the cost of a license. But we have a variety of different, we have 3 different tiers of licenses that they can go for. So it doesn't have to be, so that one shoot is done. And then we also have financing as well. If they can't pay up front, they can pay over, 36 months. So it's usually the objection for us is that, okay, we have, they got a program set up with a manufacturer that the manufacturer tells them they got to have a set amount of mattresses on the floor. And then that's the other reason for that objection as well. So.
And Arthur, I think you're right. I mean, if you start to really put your store environment under a microscope and say, okay, if we had to put this in here, what would it look like? People are going to find, oh my gosh, I've got some underperforming SKUs. I got some dead space over here. It really is time, just like when a consumer needs a new pillow, to refresh my store, to come back in and fluff this up. Yeah. Hey, Arthur, I love the path you've taken us down. You've inspired, my thinking, and we love examples like this, and they're too few in our industry. So your innovative spirit and your entrepreneurial spirit is what we love. And so thank you so much for being on the show today. I have another question for you before we wrap up. You're expanding into international licensing as well. Tell us about that.
Well, we actually are selling master licensing to certain markets. We just began that like last year with all the crazy stuff going on. So we thought maybe we can expand in different markets that we could actually help, other retailers to get a better night's sleep with the whole customization process. So when you buy a master license, you're doing exactly what I'm doing here in the United States. But with some little bit of oversight to make sure the program is the same across the international perspective. So
that's exciting.
Kinsley, my sister, Carrie Quinn, who's with Pure Care, Arthur, you mentioned her. So for my Christmas present, one of them from her, she sent me a silk pillowcase. That's the bomb right there. That's luxury in its best way. So anyway, if you're out there, get yourself a silk pillowcase. So Arthur,
even better, get yourself a Lifeloom pillowcase.
Oh, even better, no doubt. Love
That's the next level.
More to come on that one.
The FDA cleared Lifeloom pillowcase is literally the first in the world of its kind. There's no other FDA cleared sheets and pillowcases, and it's proven to reduce acne on your face.
And think about wrinkles.
Awesome.
There's no shear, but they've got sheets too. It's pretty incredible. So Arthur, before we go, your son graduated. I just love this story. Your son graduated from community college. He has autism. What's the next step for him? By the way, congratulations on that. And well done as a parent. That just warms my heart. That's incredible. So what's he going to do? What's the next thing for him?
Well, we looked at, his path and everything, and he is really good at numbers. Of course, when you're on an autism, when you're there, basically you get good at one thing. He can, one thing he's really good at, he can look at a car and tell you exactly what year and model that car is and what car it is and what engine that car uses without even have to, we just point which car it is and he can tell you all that information. So he's really good at numbers. So we're going to keep him on the accounting side of it because we want to make sure he doesn't have to deal with all the craziness, having to talk to people all the time and all that. So So he's going to be going to MTSU after he graduates from community college. So, yeah.
Good for him. Good for you and your wife.
Yeah.
And hey, good for this
Thank
audience to be able to get to know you a little bit better. And hey, we are happy to have you as part of the fam. You know, you told us a little bit about your family. This is the fam. People like you and your vision and what you've done in this industry, and we can tell you serve people. We see it all the time. You continue to show up in all my feeds, and I see all the links and all the stuff you post. And so well done. And I know that you have raving fans out there because people have told us about you, and I'm happy to get to know you and hear your story. And hey, if people want to get in touch with you, should they go to philstation.com? Is that the best place?
Yes, that's the best place. They can click on the licensing to become a licensee, and from there we take the steps to get you all set up in your store. We do the installation, we do the training, we have ongoing training. So the goal is to, and we're also ongoing creative processes to help you find different ways to create traffic for your store. So it's just ongoing. You don't have to do everything we tell you to do and everything, and those are just ideas, but it's just to help you create traffic. So.
That's awesome. Arthur, thank you so much. You're awesome. We enjoyed this very much. Great information for this audience. And if you're listening, guys, it's a campfire. We want you to circle up, tell your friends about the Dos Marcos podcast and the fam. More importantly, we've got some other great podcast shows featured on there as well. So get connected, share the show with your friends, and go give us a like or a rating if you would, iTunes, Spotify, wherever you listen to your shows. As for now, that's it, Arthur. That's it. Have a great 2022.
Thank you.
And we'll catch everyone in this audience on the next one.
You too.
You could bounce on it. Yeah, bounce with it, bounce with it. Bounce with it, bounce with it. All right. What is a hybrid? It's like peanut butter jelly, peanut butter chocolate. Hybrid so tight, there's no way that you could topple it. Hybrid on my wrist, that's a calculator watch. We add ourselves together and we take it up a notch.
Got the airflow, yo, keep you cool as it get. Visco foam alone to make you drip sweat. Get a hybrid mattress, yes, you'll get better rest. Cool and comfortable,
Hybrid like a sweater vest. You know the game, we're ahead of the sun. Cause the two of us together are way better than one. Cause I'm cool as ice
and I'm hot like a heater.
Bounce by the ounce, now we got it by the liter.
Well, you take a spring and you wrap it up right. You can sleep so smooth or bounce all night. Put two together, get a whole lot more. Get the feel of the comfort core.
You could bounce on it.
Lay back, you don't have to practice. The best thing to happen to your mattress. Get together to do it like I did. Everybody get hybrid.
If you want somebody to get in your vicinity, you probably want to feel a little bit of a hybridity. Foam alone, out of 5, maybe 1 star. Springs and foam, we're taking care of that lumbar. Mad back support, the best way to shack up or just get rest that won't mess your back up.
Like a hot chick mixed with a particle physicist or a mullet. Party in the back of the business. Best of both worlds like Mars and Venus.
The ultimate hybrid.
Nothing short of genius.
Keeping it loose while keeping it tight. We can make you sleep or play all night. Put two together, get a whole lot more. Get the feel of a comfort core.
You could bounce on it.
No stopping when the beat gets played back. Springs keep it popping, foam keeps it laid back. Party over here, get invited. Everybody get hybrid.
Listen, doesn't matter if your kitchen is charming when your bedroom's the most important part of the apartment. What kind of bed do you keep back there? Does your girl wanna chill on a beanbag chair? Hell no!
You need springs and foam, cause if that bowling ball don't bounce, you'll be sleeping alone.
And if the bed don't react, then you can't get low. We got that type of bounce that won't spill your Merlot.
So stick with us and you'll get rewarded.
Cause I'm so gentle
and I'm so supportive.
Hybrid is where the magic is.
And we just killed a song about mattresses.